So the moment you stick your head around the corner, you see Leroy just running. And within seconds, you see a grey Packard suddenly pulls over. Two white men, dressed in suits, sort of like that. You get the feeling that it's that gangster kind of outfit. One of them, they just both grab Leroy and they drag him in towards the Packard. And once he's inside the Packard, it starts to drive off at speed.
Does it have any markings on it? Like being that it's a truck, it would normally have like a business logo or something on it?
From what you can see, there are no markings, no business markings, no signage, and there is also no number plates.
Taxi. Taxi. I'm gonna hail a taxi.
Okay, yeah, I will say that by the time the car has pulled out and started to drive away, that Jesse and Ursula would have caught up to you, Perry.
He wouldn't have happened to drop his trumpet when he got grabbed, would he?
I've been too easy, yeah.
He grabbed it and ran, so no trumpet is dropped, unfortunately. All right, so you get in a taxi. Taxi driver, you manage to hail one down. You all get in. Where are we off to?
Follow that Packard.
Yep. That's what she said.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Just shut up and drive.
All right. Give me either a fast talk, persuade, or intimidate.
Just Ursula or
Whoever is talking to the taxi driver.
I will fast talk and say, I'll make it worth your while, and I'll throw it. What's a big 50 cents? $1. I'll throw $1. Apparently, $1's not enough.
I'm going to intimidate and be like, here, I got 50.
$50 would be like, shit.
His eyes open up wide at the $50, and right away, ma'am, he just takes it and pockets it and just puts the pedal to the metal, and he's just following the Packard. At first, it's a little bit difficult because the truck is so far in front, and it's middle of the day. There is a little bit of traffic. I would get you to roll a luck die, a luck roll. Because of the $50, Ursula, you can add a bonus die to that. So, oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, the driver is able to successfully tail the Packard, even though there's a lot of heavy traffic. The Packard is still driving at speed, drives west to the outskirts of Harlem, outside of Harlem. And after some time, it parks up outside a large garage. It's a lonely spot among weed-filled lots and tumble-down buildings close to what you know as 135th Street. The Packard, from what you can tell, just heads inside the garage itself. And the taxi driver just sort of pulls up a little bit before the actual garage itself, and he says, well, here we are. That was fun. But if that's it, it's
No,
this is
there's.
your destination.
I've got one more job for you. Once we get out, I need you to go to the nearest police station and inform them where we are and request backup.
That's an unusual request, sir. Who do I say?
Tell them that Bureau Agent Perry Mason is requesting backup at that location.
Okay, sir. You got a tenner?
You just got $50. I could have paid my rent for 2 months on that.
Guys, gotta ask, gotta try.
Yeah, good try, but no.
Roll a persuasion, Perry. Yeah. The as soon as you mention your title, yeah, he goes, yes, sir, right away, sir. And waits for you all to get out of the taxi. And once you're all safe, he doesn't quite speed off. He just takes off normally, and not long after he's out of sight. And you're just trusting on the good judgment that he's actually going to do what he's going to do, or what you've asked him to do.
That's all you can ever do.
Ursula will just like hurry up and scoot out of the car right quick, throw the money in the back seat, be like, here you go, and shut the door.
You threw the money in the back seat,
Wait a
did
minute,
you?
are you throwing more money at him?
I'm gonna.
No, the 50 that I owed him. Like I didn't give it to him, so I just like threw it. When
Is
we
it
got out.
small bills or just one bill?
It was small bills.
You already gave it to him. You gave it to
I
him when he
feel
got
like
in.
she's a Bible person. She wouldn't be okay. I look. Oh, I think about taking it because I feel like it's wrong, but to give him 50, but I leave out the vehicle. It really hurts me inside.
Okay, so from what you can see from where you're standing, the garage is a fairly large building. It backs up onto an alley. From where you can see windows, and a lot of the blinds are drawn, but their paper is old and ragged. So there's definitely a lot of it's not fully covered. So if you decide to have a look in the windows, you should be able to do so, depending on how clear the glass is, whether it's not, weathered or anything like that. You can also see there is an unguarded front door leading into the garage, and where the Packard went into, it's like a double garage of sorts. So you can guess that they have trucks coming in and out of this on a regular basis. Perry, you would probably know, just dealing with these kind of people, that this is probably used for either a hideout of sorts, for illegal activities. You wouldn't know exactly what it is that these guys particularly do, but you kind of know this is probably something that they would use, particularly a garage where trucks of the size of a Packer could come in and out. It looks like that there's definitely some sort of loading zone of sorts. You know that the Packard has gone in those garage, so you know that Leroy it was in that car, so you know that is at least still either in the Packard or he may be in the building now. But unless you do your own investigations, you won't really know anything further than that, than what you see outside of the street.
What do we want to do? We want to split up. I could look at the window if you want.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. Let's see actually what the lay of the land is.
Yeah, go look in the window.
I'm gonna start. It's paused, but I'm gonna start going toward the window.
All right. So yeah, you can see that like this is like the alleyway. It's very sort of run downish. There's a lot of old boxes and barrels and ladders and such running around. It's not obviously very well kept. Um, so you can see like you go past probably the larger part of the garage to where there's like a sort of a more narrow kind of room, and you can easily like make your way up to where you need to be. So if you want to place yourself where you want to be at. There's no checks or anything required because there's really at this point no one there. But not long after, um, you see. Let's see if I can. You see two men come in the door here, dragging Leroy and putting him on the chair, and they kind of stand next to him. Sort of kind of like a hand on each shoulder kind of thing, and sort of making sure that he doesn't move. And out of this door here, which you'll all be able to see, no worries, you see this man walk in. He's very, very well dressed, very business suit, shirt, tie, very well clean shaven. He's got a cigar in his hand, and he's walking in definitely like he owns the place. And following behind him is two more guys, sort of just casually following behind him, just staying behind him. And you and the guy that you see walking in, he is a fairly big man as well. They walking big man. You get the feeling that this guy is the leader or is the boss. And then he walks in and he goes, two men standing by Leroy, and he goes, "So this is the boy?" And the two gentlemen nod. You all do recognize that the man standing on the left-hand side was the gentleman that backed away at the funeral procession on the street, and he was the one that got into the Packard. And the larger man then speaks up again and says, what did you see? What did you saw? And the other guy talks up and he describes everything that happened at the funeral. And he said, well, boss, we were watching at the street, and they were carrying him on their shoulders like the pallbearers, and the band was playing. And then this guy started playing his trumpet, and then there was this loud banging sound coming from the coffin. And then, like, they dropped the coffin, and it, like, the lid opened up, and the body in the coffin was, arms were flailing everywhere, boss. And then he stood up, and then his wife, like, everybody just freaked the hell out, and it all went crazy and mayhem. And then his wife or his girlfriend stood in front of him and was talking to him, and then he, like, threw his head back and had this really inhuman scream, and then fell at the lady's feet, kind of like hugging them, and he didn't move after that. And the larger man, who's identified himself as the boss, he's humming and puffing on his cigar, and then he asks, "Are you sure? Are you sure that is what happened?" And the man goes, "Absolutely, boss. Absolutely. I swear on my mother's grave that is exactly what happened." And you all hear this conversation, no problems. It's not muffled or anything like that. It's just it's clear as day. And then the boss turns to the man on his right, and he says, "Bring him in." And he walks off in this direction and opens up the door here. And a few moments later, he comes back, and with him, he dragging the body of Joey Larson, which is
Oh.
the man Perry shot at the speakeasy at Small's Paradise. And the boss, looks down over the body and removes the cloth that is covering him. So that was a dumb piece of work, Joey, keeping Small's Paradise closed as customary dough. And all you have to do was warn the guy. Now I gotta get a new accountant. And the room is silent for a moment. And the boss turns towards and looks up at Leroy. All right, Jazzman, blow. And Turner swallows hard. And he kind of looks at him and saying, "Well, I can't, I'm kind of, and the boss just looks at the two guys and gives them a nod and clicks his fingers, and they remove the ropes that are binding him. And the other guy hands him his trumpet, and he looks at the boss kind of like he knows that he's sort of in a lot of trouble here, and he knows that if he doesn't do what he's told, he's definitely not going to get out of there alive. And he puts the trumpet to his lips and starts playing a song called High Society. Seconds pass, and at this stage, nothing is really happening. But again, 20, 30 seconds later, Larson's body begins to twitch in the same manner that you've all seen before. And once again, the body begins to rise. And like a few of the guys are just shaking their head in disbelief. And they're doing the signs of the cross, kind of like, oh my Lord, kind of thing. And everybody is swearing profanities. Holy shit, what's going on here? And the boss just tells them, keep playing, boy. And then as Larson stands up, he lurches towards the larger figure, the boss, spitting out blood. And one of the guys standing to the left pulls out his Tommy gun and empties about 20 rounds into Joey's corpse. At this point, like Leroy, like he's still playing for his life. And he's playing with everything in his being. But Harry, from your perspective, you see like there's a visible change in his demeanor. And you get the feeling that like you see a small kind of little smirk out of the corner of his mouth as he's beginning to play, and his eyes sort of go into sort of like a madman. Like you see like someone who's gone like mad, whether they're in a rage or something like that. You recognize that look. And he changes the tune to play Tiger Rag. And while the corpse continues to dance and jerk and being slammed by these heavy slugs, the others just sort of part way because they know that eventually like the bullets are just going to go straight through them. And they start to cut up Larson and rip him apart. Bullets are winding around the room, and the air is thick with the smell of blood and cordite. The man with the Tommy gun just drops it as it's empty, and Larson is all over the floor and the walls. And once again, the boys cross themselves. The guy that dropped the Tommy gun reaches over and starts pouring a few drinks and hands them all up. While the larger man curses in disbelief, the boss goes, "Wow, like that's something, boys. I think we'll be taking this." And while this is happening, you can hear Leroy just giggling, like laughing, like it's kind of like that kind of funny, insane laugh.
Oof. I I think when he was playing and smirking, Jesse would have had enough and decides that she's gonna try and stop them from taking Leroy. And she's gonna go around to the front of the garage and see if she can find like a crowbar or a pipe or something. I don't know.
For the sake of brevity, I'm just going to say you find like a crowbar or a pipe. You know, this is a garage spanner, maybe
Yeah.
something that you want to swing. So, what are you doing, Perry, at this time?
I am looking at 4 heavily armed men, and I've only got a little revolver. So I'm seriously sitting there going, okay, where the hell is that backup?
So at that time, you hear the boss saying, "Take the jazz man, and lock him in the cellar at Mama Shangel's." And the two gentlemen pick him up and start to escort him out. Perry, do you want to roll luck for me? And I will also, because it was your idea, I will give you a bonus die for the luck roll.
Oh,
Could have been better, but regular's better than nothing.
So that's all we need. You hear sirens as this encounter was happening, particularly towards the end where the gun was emptying. And Jesse, you hear these sirens, so you could, if you still want to continue on your path, you can.
oh no. I'm stuck. Okay, this probably looks bad.
Or you could find somewhere to hide.
I'm gonna hide behind these barrels.
Just for reference, the Packard is in the garage, even though the scene doesn't show it. The Packard is parked in one of the garage, so you could like slide and hide there, like get underneath the Packard or get inside the Packard as well as an option.
Oh, I might hide in the car. Yeah. Yeah, I could hide in the car if the car's near me.
We'll say that you open up the back and then you get in, and at this time the police cars surround the exits of the street. They all get out, and you hear police, stop what you're doing, and everybody is bolting out of the room. At this stage, Leroy is able to get away from the two that are holding him, grabs his trumpet, and again he just starts to book it, like he just starts to run. The police have come in and they are starting to train their guns on whoever's in the building, and depending where you guys are, or depending where you are, Jesse, are you looking out or are you just closing the door?
I would hope to be kind of like looking out like that, but if I see Leroy bolting, I'll probably try to run with him like I'm a civilian running away. I don't know.
Yep. You see Agent Roger Daniels like directing the raid. So you see him. He's too busy with everything that's going on. So he doesn't see Leroy or yourself. Ursula and Perry, what are you doing?
I'm just hiding behind Perry. Like I'm like holding on, like not holding on to him, but like I'm close enough to like grab onto him if I need to, and I'm just like behind him.
I am heading around to the other side to find where Leroy has gone. Pretty much trying to. I want to stop Leroy from getting away, whatever that involves.
Perry, as you and Ursula make your way, I assume you would have made your way over to where you came from? Yep.
Yeah.
So the moment you literally walk into view, you're seeing Leroy just booking it. And he will probably have by the time you would have ran there, he's probably ran the same amount of distance.
Are there a lot of cops in the front of the, like, because I would check the keys. I could check the keys of the car in the garage, but I don't want to get arrested.
If you're going to investigate,
Mhm.
go spot hidden. Oh, actually, no, luck.
Womp, womp, womp. Nope.
There are no keys in the Packard.
I will follow my acquaintances.
Right. So, yep. So as you run out, we did roll earlier that Agent Daniels didn't see anything, and for brevity's sake, just with the mayhem and chaos, there's not enough police to cover everybody, so you'll be able to easily kind of wait for them to pass the Packard, and then you make the decision to get out and run with your run with your crew. He's just running, and you can see where he's running to eventually after, let's say, 10 minutes of running. You see that he's running towards a cemetery. So he's running towards what is known as Trinity Church Cemetery, that lies between Broadway and Riverside Drive. This is on the northern edge of Harlem. You see Leroy just running in, and you kind of briefly lose sight of where he's running to. I'll get you all to roll luck. Not as a group, I'll say individual, if you wish to. Actually, no, you can't re-roll luck. Sanity and lucks, you can't re-roll.
I can't spend luck to make my luck better either.
No, you cannot.
No. I'm going to take this moment to tell Perry, I'm going to touch his shoulder and be like, I belong to a university that studies the odd and paranormal. We need that horn. So if you do capture him or anything, please don't take it. My professor could benefit from it.
Say what?
I belong to a university that studies the paranormal and odd. My professor would probably benefit from studying this use of this horn rather than just hand it over to Detective Daniels, where someone could get a hold of it. You just saw those gangsters in there. Can you imagine if it got into the wrong hands?
Yeah, that's why I would like to destroy it.
Well, I think before we destroy it, we should find out where it's come from. What if there's more?
God help us all.
So, as you're having this conversation while you're sort of chasing down Leroy, the two of you with this conversation, you lose sight of where he's gone. Ursula, you manage to catch Leroy out of the corner of your eye, running basically in this direction, and you're seeing him like jumping over graves and fences, and you're able to direct everybody to where Leroy is going towards.
Guys, I don't know if I'm just seeing something, but I think he went this way.
And furthermore, Mr. Oh, I think Ursula's found something. And I follow her.
This way.
You were saying?
Okay, so as you're running, can I get you all to roll a dex roll for me, please?
Uh-oh. Oh! Now I've got the bad rolls. Jesus.
All right. So, Perry, you arrive first. You get here first. Ursula, you're probably not too far behind. And Jesse, just a little bit over here. Perry, you see Leroy poised near a grave. His trumpet tipped and his cheeks flexed. You see him begin to tap his foot to mark time, as in like he's keeping time for the music. Ursula, as you arrive, you see him tapping his foot, and not long after Jesse, you arrive, just as you all hear Leroy saying, "Folks, this next number is for money." And he begins to bring the trumpet to his lips once again to start to play.
Before he starts to play, I say, boy, don't make me turn you into a corpse. And I'm drawing my pistol and aiming right at him.
Okay.
I would shout at Perry, no, and I would try to stop Perry probably.
How do you want to try and stop Perry?
We are in a graveyard. This thing brings people back to life, and you're trying to stop me.
Run and tackle him. She'll shout.
Says the crazy person. I will yeah, I'll run and try to knock the gun. Oh, this is a bad idea.
How are you going to do this? Are you using your crowbar to knock it out of his hand? or
Oh
are you
God,
gonna try-
no! I don't want to hurt him. I just don't want him to shoot this guy playing the trumpet. Like it's loss
Okay.
of life that does it.
All right. Let me see.
I will try to
For this, I am going to say, um, yeah, just a brawl check.
Oh,
59. Okay, Perry, you do have the option to either, you see this coming and choose to like dodge and sidestep, or allow her to just try and knock it out. You
Now,
do have a reaction to this.
would I see her coming?
I would say, like, out of your peripheral, yes.
Would I have the time to shoot before she hits the gun?
Let's roll luck. So I will say,
oh.
well, you didn't let me finish. You just rolled. Okay.
I don't know why I rolled. It's not my luck.
All right. Because you both failed. What I'm going to do is ignore the roll. What I'm going to do is I will roll the D100. This will be the luck roll. And if it's above 50, it's a fail, which will mean you don't initially see her running at you, but if it's a fail, you understand what is about to happen, which will then allow you to react accordingly. If it's a success, Perry, then I will say you would have a chance to shoot. But at the same time, Leroy is going to ignore your demands. So here we go. It's 46. You have a chance.
So yes, I would fire at him to stop him from raising every single dead body in this graveyard.
So, Perry, you've shot and you failed.
Yeah,
But it
yes.
doesn't deter Leroy. He continues to play. This is going to allow you now, Jesse, to decide whether you want to continue on your action to knock the gun away, or make another choice as to what you like to do.
I'm going to look at Leroy and I'm going to try and be, I don't have very good persuasion. Am And we all heard him say this is for Marnie. So I'm going to look at the gravestone.
Yes, you all heard that as you arrived.
I'm gonna-
So Perry got to the grave first and saw a lot more. Ursula did come in second with her role and just saw the moment Leroy tapped his foot. You arrived as he was saying, "This one is for Marnie," which everybody heard. The graveyard, you can see the name Marnie written on it. If you want to put 2 and 2 together, yes, please roll intelligence.
Oh, dang it. Well, it tells you about psychology, I guess so. No, I don't know shit.
You can choose to reroll.
Can I instead say to Perry, do not kill him, knock him out?
You certainly can say that.
That's what I say.
All right, and this will give Ursula an opportunity to react or perform an action as she sees fit.
I'm going to look at Perry and I'm just going to yell at him, tackle him.
Yeah. Okay. I will tackle him, permanently put him down to sleep by firing another shot at him.
All right. So before this happens, you do know with the amount of time that he's had able to play, you hear the moaning and sort of thumping within the general vicinity of the graves. And you know that in every direction there's sounds of creaking and stirring and wakings and shiftings. The dead are starting to rise. And you've already made this realization earlier that this is just not going to work for one person. This is going to work for everyone in this graveyard. And as this is playing, Leroy comes a little bit to his senses. He starts to understand what is happening. But he does look at trying to look for a way to escape again. So it's up to you how you guys react to what Leroy is about to do.
Jesse will probably scream.
We gotta stop him just shooting.
I'll try tackling him to stop him from getting away and yell out to the
Okay.
girls to also tackle him to stop him from getting away.
Okay. So is that what everybody's going to do? Are you going to listen in on Perry's request, or are you going to do something completely different?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna just like take off and start running towards Leroy to try to like tackle him, to do something, maybe disarm something. She just wants this to be over with.
Okay. And Jesse?
Same.
All right. So what I'm going to do is, because you're all going to group tackle him, I'm going to say one person can do the tackle, and because both Jesse and Ursula are assisting, add 2 bonus die to this will be classified as a special attack, so I think if I remember correctly, it still just will work on brawl. But let me just quickly look that up if I can. One. Sorry about that.
I'm gonna see a bunch of dead people and a bunch of ghosty people.
Yeah, well, I mean, everything is starting to you're just looking to a tackle that this is just going to be a brawl roll with the 2 bonus die because Ursula and Jesse are assisting.
Ooh.
Right,
you
a
got
regular
20.
success.
All right, so Leroy is he is going to dodge what you're trying to do, but for him to succeed, you've rolled a regular, so he will need to roll a hard success or higher to successfully dodge. So he gets an extreme success on that. So he kind of just sidesteps you as you go in for the tackle. You don't lose any of your footing. He's just able just to slightly just sidestep your attempt to bring him down. So I'm guessing at this point, since we're doing this, we are going into a combat encounter, which we should have done that before, but that's okay. So that should now be up. Perry, you've got your gun, correct?
Yeah, but I'm using my fists at the moment.
So we will start combat now. All right, Perry. What? So I'll say since you made the attempt that you would have moved up, and everybody else has moved up as well. So it is now.
So I'm in like close range with him.
Yeah. I'm not going to say he's gotten too far away. So if you still want to like try to tackle him again, that should be more than enough for you to do so.
Yeah, I try to cold cock him with the butt of the gun to like knock him unconscious, or not knock him unconscious, but disorientate him enough so that we can actually attempt another tackle and get him to the ground.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, and I will say that is a brawl attack since you're using the butt of the gun.
Yeah, I can't brawl for shit.
All right, no, that's okay. Joey, not Joey, Leroy. He's gonna attempt to dodge anyway. He sees what's gonna happen. All right, so he obviously passes the dodge. So that's Leroy is just going to keep running. He's not going to attack. So he'll probably run a step forward. Ursula, what would you like to do as it is now your turn?
Can I look around for anything like hard or metal, like anything I can be used as a weapon?
Give me a luck roll.
Look.
Okay. You can find a shovel. They're just,
Okay.
just laying around.
Okay, she's going to grab the shovel from the ground, pick it
Yep.
up, and
Yep.
like aim it at him like this, so like the triangular part on the end of it is like aimed towards Leroy. And I get like she's going to try to like stab at him with it.
Oh, okay. All right. So you'll at least have to move closer to be able to hit him.
Okay.
Now, something for you straight away. Roll a brawl attack.
Okay.
But add a bonus die because Leroy is outnumbered, and
Okay.
his action of a dodge in dodging parry means that any subsequent attack gets a bonus die. Okay, so that's a fail. So you kind of move in and attempt to swing at him with the stab him with the shovel with the metal part, and you just misjudge the distance between yourself and him, and it just misses him only slightly. But he keeps he doesn't have any other actions because he only has one action per round, and this is still technically a single round, so he can't react anything more. But that does end your turn, Ursula, and we move to Jesse.
I will crowbar to the legs to try and knock him off his feet, so stop blowing his horn. So
Okay. Yep. Same deal. You have a bonus die being that he dodged and he's outnumbered.
so I hit him and yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that's it. Okay, let's try that. That worked. The keeper has to do it. Okay.
All right. So he has no response. So you roll damage.
Yeah, I lack permission. You have-
All right. So he takes 3. All right. So new round, Perry. It's your turn.
Try to cold cock him again. So another brawl.
Okay. Yep. So just move up to him. So at least that gives you the right distance.
I'd probably move there. So I'm trying to block him off. And rolling with a hit.
Okay, so he's going to attempt to dodge. So with your regular, he needs to beat that with a hard success or higher. All right, so he fails. So let's say your damage is going to be a D4, 1D4.
With bonus damage?
If you have bonus damage, yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be 2d4.
So that's 5.
5,
Okay.
5 bludgeoning damage.
All right. So he takes 5.
And at the same time, I'd say it would be so much easier if you just stop fighting.
Well, I mean, he's not.
All right.
He's not.
Take another run. And that ends his turn because he's not going to fight.
Okay, so is he still playing his horn? Like
He's
is he still
trying
playing the
to,
trumpet?
but
Okay.
yes.
I want to take the shovel I have, and I want to kind of like try to whack the trumpet out of his hand, like maybe hit his hand with it, or try to like knock it out of his hand somehow.
Okay. So you'll need to move in and roll your brawl attack. And then since he's taken the dodge action, you get the bonus die.
Oof.
So unfortunately, just in the environment you in, like you think that you're swinging at his gun, but it's something else. Like it was there for 1 second, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's not.
I'm going to
All right.
try to move up and actually pull it out of his hand. So I guess I'll just use my hand. Like-
If you're trying to yank it out of him, I'm gonna say strength roll
Okay.
because you're not like brawling. You're trying to grab it and yank it.
Come on. Oh. Eh?
All right.
Is it a versus or?
Yeah, I would say so in this instant. You managed to take hold of the trumpet, and with all your strength, somehow, like just growing up with your brothers and cousins and stuff like that, you've remember, them taking one of your favorite books or your favorite toys, and you've done the same thing where you've just sort of grabbed it. And Leroy turns to you and just sort of looks at you going, "Give me my trumpet back." And we move over to Perry.
All right. Try to knock him out.
All right.
Still the
again.
+1 to brawl.
No, this is a new round, so you've only just a regular attack.
Regular hit.
All right, cool. He is going to ignore, and because his focus is getting back the trumpet. So, do your damage.
So the damage is another 5 points of blood damaging.
Okay, so you go to clock him again, and you can see that that it is really starting to, like, he's really starting to get hurt. You can even see like a trickle of blood coming down his body. But Leroy is going to look at you, Jess, and he is going to brawl with you. You can choose to attack back, you can choose to dodge, or you can choose to maneuver.
I will crawl back. I'm not a dodgy person.
Okay.
So I'll
Swing high.
crawl. I got So I'm just gonna clock him.
Yep. Since your roll is higher than his roll, you succeed. So do your damage.
Uh,
So you see Leroy swinging at you, and your training once again has really come into. You sort of already see it coming, and you quickly swing your favorite hand, whether it's your left or right, and you just clock him right on the chin, knocking him out, laying on the ground. He staggers back a little bit and just falls to the ground. I am going to roll a con for him because he has reached 0. It's not a major. No, actually, it's not a. Okay. So, yeah, he's just knocked out. He's knocked out. And Jesse, with you holding the trumpet now, obviously with the music stopping and whatnot, all the sounds of the dead who were trying to raise, it's actually stopped. No one hears anything any further. But I will get you to roll a luck roll for me, please.
Huh?
Oh, very good. Very good. For a moment, not long after you clock Leroy and you holding the trumpet, you swear in your head, you hear a voice saying, "Now you play." And then there's a little laugh. But with your luck roll, you sort of close your eyes for a moment and you just think of the divine within you, and you are able to shake off the voice in your head. That will end combat with Leroy unconscious on the ground. There is a little bit of a mess around some of the graveyards from the dead trying to raise up. But for now, you have hold of the trumpet. The dead, Leroy is knocked out, and the dead are no longer raising up.
Mr. Mason, do you feel like we should restrain this person or give him medical attention?
First thing I'd do is I'd pull out my handcuffs and handcuff him. And then the second thing I'd do is congratulate Jesse for a job well done at knocking him out. And then I'll perform first aid on him to stop him from bleeding out from the wound I gave him on the back of the head.
All right, so yes, you can do that. You can roll either your first aid or medicine, whichever of the two is your best roll.
That's my better roll, and it was shit. So yeah, he's gonna look. I'm gonna bandage him up, and he's gonna look like he's good, but it's gonna keep on bleeding.
That's okay. yeah, he's bandaged up best as you could. You've cuffed him. Jesse, Ursula, if you want to attempt first aid or medicine roll, you may do so.
Look, no one's gonna believe us if we call the cops, right? So, I, I
I feel like we should just leave him here. Just go away, leave him here. We don't know what happened. What is he going to tell the cops? He was in the graveyard playing some magical trumpet? No trumpet, no proof.
yeah, I don't know why all of you were at the speakeasy, but I was there uh, for scientific study with my professor, and I'm going to take this horn to the university. We can leave him, and you can come with, or you can just. But I can't. I'm not going to help him. Maybe we could call someone to pick him up, but it's up to you, Mr. Mason.
Look, like I don't know how to. Yeah, this is going to be a nightmare for the paperwork, but it comes down to he's under control now. I want to know where you're taking that thing because I'm interested. I've seen some things lately.
You've seen some things.
This is not the weirdest thing that I've seen in the last 2 years. Trust me. This is weird. Yes, I'll give you that. But no, it's not the weirdest thing.
Ursula, you should come too. You should come to the university. Tell them what you
Can
see.
we do it tomorrow? I am tired of seeing things that are not there. Shadows popping up everywhere, dealing with dead bodies. I'm not doing this anymore. I don't feel good. I want to go home.
Just gonna pat her on the shoulder. Let's call a taxi, and we can discuss it later. I can give you my card, and I give her the little card. It's like history student of Miskatonic University of the Society for blah blah blah. You know.
So we're just leaving Leroy there.
I think we are.
Yeah,
All
we're
right.
just leaving him there.
All right.
No, we're not leaving Leroy there.
He is handcuffed.
We're
So-
taking him with me because I want my handcuffs back.
Well, unhandcuff him.
Why?
Because if he's knocked out, he ain't going to do nothing. We're going to leave him here. He'll probably wake up in an hour from now. You have your handcuffs. Let's go.
Why don't you call Detective Daniels and you, because I don't want to be here when that happens, explain that he was at the garage. I'm sure
That sounds like a good plan.
and he can rave his madness at Detective Daniels. And then Detective
Okay.
Daniels won't be on our back.
Okay.
You all make your way to, I guess, your rooms for where you're staying. Perry, I assume you do call Agent Daniels and let him know where to find Leroy.
Yeah.
All right. How much do you tell him?
I'll tell him that he was there at the place. I saw him run away. Thank you for responding. Yeah, and that's as bad as I don't go. No supernatural stuff at all.
Okay.
Mainly because I know that bloke will have me incarcerated in a nut house. I've been there. I'm not doing it again.
All right. So we will fast forward for a few days. Like you stay in town a little bit, obviously. Jesse, you managed to finally catch up with the professor. Perry, you have some conversations with Ancient Daniels over that time just to, you know, dot the I's and cross the T's, obviously, with your involvement with what happened at not only the Smalls Paradise, but your call for backup. You do learn that from Agent Daniels that the gang inside was actually the boss Bonato, the gentleman that you were told by the reason why you were here in the first place. You found out that that's the right guy. And he tells you to come down to the precinct to collect your share of $1,000 of reward money, whether you keep it for yourself or whether you give it to charity or whether you contact Jesse and Ursula and give them their share. That's kind of up to you. But you do learn that one of his guys basically has taken the fall for the events, and he is sent to jail. And after time, you do hear from Agent Daniels about 11 months later that this guy is walked free, but Boss Bernardo, with his hands in a lot of his pockets, he walked scot free. Jesse, you catch up with your professor, and he profusely apologizes for not being able to find you while you're away, and wants to find out what you've been doing over the last few days.
I do explain to my professor what's happened and say I know the whereabouts of the horn, and I kind of judge his reaction to see if he thinks I'm nuts or not, really, before I possibly leave it with him.
I mean, he turns to you and says, "Look, if this is as dangerous as you think it is, then we need to secure this where we can. But I would also like to meet your companions, if possible, before we head back to the university. You know, just to extend my thanks and, you know, offer them a place with us."
I give a card that she gave me that says Tarot Reader Extraordinaire, and I give like Perry Mason's card to him, and he can do what he likes with them.
And Ursula, with your few days that you've spent in Harlem, you take a moment to do another tarot card reading, and while the events of that day and the insanity has the temporary insanity has worn off, and you've come fully completely to your senses, you do get the odd feeling that as you're doing tarot card readings, you feel this something with you, guiding you and helping you with what you do with your tarot card readings and whatever further you decide to pursue from here.
I would I think after a couple of days and stuff, after the tarot reading that she does, I feel like she would just be confused. Like, she still doesn't know why she came there. She doesn't know why the cards told her to come there. She's still in this state of like, I don't know what happened. I'm so confused. I've always lived my life this one way, and now I know there's something completely else. I don't know what to do. So I think she's going to call the number that Jesse gave her and call her and be like, hey, I want to come meet your professor.
All right. We'll say that if you all agree that you all meet up at the diner again, you learn over time, we'll say, you hear on the grapevine that Small's Paradise is going to reopen in 10 days' time, newly painted, carpeted, and will be ready for business. You also catch wind that Leroy Turner was found in the graveyard muttering things about Marnie and bringing her back to life and wanting to play a trumpet and waiting for her to come to his call. There was damage around the graveyard, and Agent Daniels and team kind of assumed that it was caused by him and obviously his insane looks and giggling, and they had him committed to a hospital. Perry, with the reward money, what do you do with that?
So it's a share of 1,000, right? So
So it's $1,000 all up, and you can do what you will with that, whether you split it or however you decide to do with it.
I would split it when I meet the girls. I would give them cash each and say, this is the reward that we got from Thingo. I don't know what you want to do with it, but have fun.
So that works out roughly to be about $330 each, with a little bit of coin split. There is
one
a
of those
older
weird ones.
It is. There is an older gentleman sitting with Jesse. He's kind of dressed in a suit and a tie with a bit of a hat on him, and he turns to you both and says, so these are the two, Jesse, that you were working with?
Yeah, this is Detective Mason and Miss LeVar.
Well, first of all, I have to thank you for looking after Jessie here after the events of Small Paradise. I didn't know what happened to her, and I feared the worst, but I'm glad that she is okay. I also want to thank you for uncovering something that can't be explained, something that can't, for many, comprehend. From my brief look at this trumpet belonged to an old god by the name of Nyarlathotep, god of chaos, likes to cause mayhem wherever he goes, and takes on the shape and form of anything he likes. We at the university will make sure this trumpet will never see the light of day again, and that no one can use this for ill purposes. But I would also like to, if I may, extend an invitation for you to join us. We have I guess our own little group, if you will, where we get people to do and go investigate scenarios that you've just gone through over the last few days. It's an open invitation, so you're welcome to come by the university at any time, ask for me, and if you're willing to be part of what we do, you'll learn more over time. Some things are not as simple as what we've seen today. We've had stories and events where our investigators do not return home, but that is one of the risks that you do take by partaking in what we do. And he sort of reaches out and takes out 2 cards similar to what Jesse gave it, and just sort of pushes them across the table in both your general direction.
Thank you. You might be able to answer some questions for me eventually.
Well, my door will always be open, Mr. Mason.
You mean to tell me that Jessie has been your student and she didn't know anything about supernatural anything, and you're wanting us to join a society that don't even teach their students about what goes on here?
To be fair, I'm a history student and I didn't know about this god. I'm a Christian girl, so yeah, I'm still learning.
He kind of sits back and chuckles, and of course the invitation is also open to you now, Jesse, but ma'am, and he looks at you, Ursula, saying, if I told you about this without you going through what you have experienced, would you have believed me in the first place? That there is a society, investigators that go out and look at supernatural occurrences
Well, sir.
across the globe?
Well, sir, I believe in a lot of things. But you're right. I probably wouldn't have believed you until I literally started seeing dead people. But thank you for that, she says, and she grabs the card and just like shoves it in her pocket.
And with that, you all depart and you go your separate ways. You go back to your homes. Perry, you do have a package, an envelope waiting for you when you arrive with all the payments that you were promised, and just a simple thank you note. Ursula, once again, you go back to your home and trying to understand what you've gone through over the last few days, as well as this feeling that you're getting this extra help when you use your tarot cards, and this kind of helps you to get a little bit more renown in the ways of tarot card reading and clientele that come through your door every day. And Jesse, you continue on with your studies with the professor, obviously learning a little bit more about the society and whatnot. But as the weeks happen and occur, one last thing happens to you all. A few weeks later, you all receive a letter from a courier. So in a big sort of envelope. And you all open it up. And when you pull it out, what's inside, you see a record cover. The front of it is Charlie Johnson's Paradise Orchestra, made the day of the events in Small's Paradise. And when you flip it over, it says Deadman Stomp, featuring solo by Leroy Turner on trumpet. And that's the conclusion of this Deadman Stomp story. Congratulations, investigators. Well done.
It's mass widespread now.
But would the mojo work
Maybe it's only live.
on
Get it,
LP?
live
Now
band.
I know LPs are awesome and everything, but would the mojo still work?
GG.
Well, with that, we're done. From my end, I'm going to thank our players. I got to thank Kitty for her first time playing Call of Cthulhu. So well done, congratulations, you survived. You did a great job. Perry, or Mr. Steeb, thank you very much, sir. And of course, we have to thank our host, Hex and Hemlock, who was playing Jesse. And I am Magic, the gamer, your keeper of arcane lore, thanking everybody for tuning in and watching. And please continue to support Hex and Hemlock, as more Call of Cthulhu will be on this channel. But that is it for me, and I am signing off.
This magic became funny. Alright, GG's guys.